Hi everyone, welcome to Collette's Thermy Kitchen. My name is Collette Mitrega and you probably all know this by heart now. I think Andrew does. So my name is Collette Mitrega. I am a Thermomix consultant here in Australia and I have over 1,000 customers in all states and territories. Now, if you are thinking of getting a Thermomix in your kitchen, it will be an amazing thing that you will grow to love absolutely. Please reach out. I'd love to support you and help you get either the TM6 with our current bundle where you get over $1,000 of extras, or the wonderful new TM7, which is now open for pre-order and due for delivery beginning of June.
So if you order one now, you still get it in June?
Which one? The pre?
Yeah, TM7.
Yeah, it's due to be here beginning of June. Yep.
So if you order now, you still get it in June?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Just want to make sure.
Pre-order. Okay. All right, now today we are doing the last little bit of our Easter plated kind of dinner, a nice dinner to have with friends. So you remember we started with those beautiful prawn cocktails. Do you remember those, Andrew?
Yes, I did.
So good.
Yeah. I finished off the rest of the prawns yesterday with that wonderful sauce.
Yep. And we did that lovely avocado mousse just to pep it up a little bit. Yesterday we did that lovely salmon, cream cheese, herbs inside a beautiful puff pastry casing, and we served that with some beautiful new potatoes and either green beans or I just did a basic house salad, and that would be beautiful. And again, all of those you can prep in advance. So today we're on the last little element, gotta have a good dessert. Now, I was kind of figuring Easter chocolate, but I think really, you know, by lunchtime we're all over chocolate. We've just sugared out totally, so to speak, on chocolate. So I thought what would be lovely, and one of my all-time favourite desserts, even when I go to some beautiful hatted restaurants, you know, when we went to Montrachet, and of course creme caramel was on the dessert, and out of all the ones that I picked the creme caramel. I always do. I just love them. The Thermomix does an amazing
creme
job.
caramel or creme brulee?
Creme brulee, thank you, Andrew. Creme brulee. The Thermomix does an amazing job at making them.
So you're doing creme brulee today?
I am doing creme brulees. Yeah.
Okay.
And it does an amazing job.
You put creme caramel on it.
So easy. All right, I'll go back and change that afterwards.
Just thought I'd let you know. So even you do something wrong occasionally.
Yeah, you're a bit naughty. You did lots of wrong things yesterday. So this is the recipe. Just watch out, you know, there is a French version, there is a couple of other versions. You obviously want to go for the English version so you can understand it. Or you can use Google Translate, whatever. So into the recipe, let's get on with these creme caramels. So I'm going to press start cooking, fully guided recipe. Now this recipe actually serves, have I got the right recipe up? Yeah. It actually serves, I think it's 12, it makes 12. It's a huge portion. I don't want 12. As much as I love them, there's no way.
How long do they last in the fridge?
They don't last really, really long, you know, probably the next day, and I think then you start to
even you would eat 11 over 2 days.
But you could certainly make them the day before, that's not an issue, and then sugar them at the last minute. So I'm actually quartering this recipe. I'm just going to do enough for like maybe 2 decent sized ones, so I'm actually reducing it down quite a bit. So the first thing we're doing is we're popping the oven on at 150, so that's now preheating. And then I love the Thermomix. TM6, TM7 is full of these really useful videos if you are not someone who really hasn't ever been taught to cook. You know, there's so many young moms, even older moms, and even retirees that have never been shown how to split a vanilla bean, for example. And we've got these videos that are built in, and this one is just showing us how to do it, how to scrape out those seeds. Now today I don't have any vanilla beans and I didn't want to go to the shop. Actually I did, but they were too dry and crispy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in a little bit of
Did you go to the shops today?
No shops today.
Oh, that's why we haven't got any donuts.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm going on a fad of Krispy Kreme donuts. Just love them.
All right, so vanilla has gone in there, about a teaspoon. I've just done slightly less because remember I'm only doing a smaller portion. And then the next thing we're going to add in here is sugar. So caster sugar is going in there. And then the next thing we have got is some thickened cream. I'm just using the thickened cream. So popping that in.
And hello back to everyone who said hello to both of us. Thank you.
And then egg yolks. Make sure you've got, your nice large egg yolks. If you've got your own chickens and you've only got small egg yolks, maybe put another half in. The egg yolks are important. That's what's going to thicken this mixture.
Those room temperature or from the fridge?
Either will work.
Doesn't matter? Okay.
No, it doesn't matter because the Thermomix is going to heat them up.
I'm just asking these questions in advance of people asking questions.
You're actually getting really good at it.
Yeah, I know. It's only taken about 4 years.
So egg yolks have gone in. Now we're just going to pop the lid on. And that now is going to go for 6 minutes. It's going to heat up at 80 degrees. And that is basically our thicken mode temperature. And we are just going to turn the speed around to 3, which is great. Now, someone actually mentioned, I put up a video on how quiet the Thermomix was. And one of the things you'll notice during the lives when I start using the TM7 is that you're not going to have this kind of noise going on all the time. You'll hear very, very little noise on the speed 3. So that's going to be a great bonus. So what I'm now going to do is I'm just going to whip up something else because I always think if we're doing a special dinner, just a little bowl of creme brulee, I always get them confused, it needs something else. So what I've got here is the ingredients for a recipe. It is on Cookie Dough and I'll put the link up, but it's so easy. I make it so often and it's just basic shortbread. So you can imagine your creme brulee with some little shortbread on the side. That is a perfect dessert. So into my second bowl, I am going to pop. The ingredients are simply 100 grams of plain flour, nice and easy. And we have got 100 grams of butter.
So is this your recipe?
No, they're all very similar, but this is a great recipe on Cookie Dough that you can follow, and I'll put the link up. 100 grams of plain flour, 100 grams of cold butter that's cut into cubes.
Unsalted?
Doesn't matter really. I never get worried about that. And then we are also going to pop into there 50 grams of caster sugar and 50 grams of rice flour. I usually just put rice into my Thermomix and mill it. 10 seconds speed 10, just scrape down and repeat. And then I keep that in a container, and for whenever I need the rice flour, I've got it. So rice flour, 50 grams, that's gone in. That's all there is to it. And then all we need to do is to get the Thermomix, first of all, to mix that together, 10 seconds speed 6. Once that's done, we're going to switch over to the dough mode for 20 seconds. So I'm going to do that on my Thermomix behind me while this finishes off. And then I'm putting it into dough mode for 20 seconds.
So how's everyone today, and what's the weather like where you are? Here on the Gold Coast, it's beautiful and sunny. Big change from yesterday.
Now, all of those instructions will be on the shortbread recipe, so you don't have to worry about remembering them, but it's a really good recipe, a good basic recipe that you can use not only at Christmas time. I mean, who doesn't like shortbread? Actually, who doesn't like shortbread?
I don't like shortbread.
I know, look, that's
Don't know why.
unusual to me.
I must have been abused by shortbread as a child.
Ah. Okay, we are done. So in absolutely no time at all, I have whipped up my shortbread dough. And what I am going to do is to pop this onto my mat. I'm using the Thermomix so I don't need any more flour. And just giving the bowl a twiddle, out comes all that dough, nice clean bowl. And I just want to work fairly quickly, bringing this into a ball. And the reason why I want to work quickly is because my hands are warm. And what I'm going to do is just to roll this out. So you can pop this into a small baking tin, whatever you want to really. I'm just going to roll this into a bit of a circle, just to give me a base shape. I could definitely just put this into the tin and use my hands, but remember my hands are warm, which isn't a good thing. I'm going to use my my shortbread baking tray today, which I love to use. I'm just going to condition that with a bit more rice flour, nice and easy. And then before this sticks, where is mine? Oh yeah. I'm going to pick up my pastry. Just going to plug that in. It's not going to fit, but it's going to give me a base to start working with. And now all I'm going to do is to take this and just sit this in and press it down. That's fine.
So just is the short the biscuits, is that a cookie dough recipe or your own?
This is cookie dough recipe, and I'll put the link up for everybody.
Okay.
So I'm actually just using a bench dough scraper here, and this is, I'm pressing it down because this isn't, I've actually put this in the fridge just to help us because it is really warm and muggy today. And if you need to use your hand, you can.
As interesting, Natasha says she adds a bit of lavender essential oil.
Love that, thank you. You can add so many beautiful flavours. Almond essence, lemon is just beautiful, a bit of lemon zested through this. And then I'm just going to flatten this all down because I want to pick up that lovely thistle design on the back.
Where'd you get your tray from?
Probably Amazon.
Is it?
Yeah, probably Amazon. And then I just like to just take it away from the edges, just so it will drop out nicely. And then this here will get pricked. I just want to make sure it's in properly. Okay. And I'm just going to give this a bit of a prick to let it steam out.
It's 35 degrees in Adelaide today. Wow.
That's now going to go into the oven 150 degrees for about 30 minutes.
I'm not sure, is it as you get older, do you feel the heat more? I don't know, we're finding it
Very
a
hot.
bit oppressive here on the Gold Coast. We're currently considering moving. We shall see. To cooler climates.
All right. So now the next stage of the creme brulees is to strain the mixture, and it will tell you step by step through the recipe what to do, but I'm just going to kind of work along with it. Okay, so what I've got here is my baking tray, any baking tray that is going to hold your ramekins. You could use a much bigger one if you've got lots of them. And I've got some fairly shallow ramekins here. You can get all sorts of different sizes, but I really think with the creme brulee you don't want them too big because then dessert becomes sickly. And all I'm doing is I have a tea towel that I've put in the bottom, and that just stops these ramekins from moving around. And what I'm going to do is I am now going to pour this mixture, which is a basic custard. Okay, so just a basic custard mixture, and I'm going to pour that through a sieve. Now I've got a nice double mesh sieve. We talked about these before. You'll often find sieves that are single mesh, so the holes are quite big, but you know, often you just need that double mesh to make sure none of that egg bit will actually get in. So I'm literally just pouring it directly from here into my mold. Okay. Oop, I did that one a bit high, but never mind. Oh. Okay, I've got a tiny bit left over there, but that's okay. So that's good. And then the last thing I want to do now is to fill this up. So the molds are filled about 3/4 of the way with boiling water. So my kettle has been pre-boiled. I've got enough water in there. And just filling it up 3/4. And this is called a bain-marie. Okay, and this is what's going to cook and set that. So it's about 3/4 of the way, is it? Can't quite see it. Yeah, I think so. That's fine.
Don't think so.
Don't you think so?
No.
Can't quite see actually.
No, it's not even.
Oh no, you're quite right, Andy. A little bit more. That's fine. Okay. And then I'm going to put this into the oven. Now this will take about 50 minutes at 150 degrees, which is great. And what I often find is that about halfway through, I just need to get a bit of foil and I'll just sit that on top, and I will just reduce the oven down to 140 because the tops start to brown a little bit. So you can just check that and see whether you need to do that in your oven. So popping this into that oven with the shortbread.
So Vera asked, can these be cooked in a steam oven?
Yes, you can do these. There are steam oven recipes, absolutely. Okay. Right, so let me now go and get some that I made previously.
Every time you say that, get some. Here are some that I made previously. It reminds me of a program that I used to watch as a kid in England called Blue Peter, where they'd always make things and they'd always say, and here's some we prepared earlier.
I always like to give you something that I prepared earlier. Now, when you take, so you can see the colour, you can see it's nicely set. When you take it out of the oven, just be mindful that what you'll find is that it will still jiggle a little bit. So the outsides will be more or less set, but you'll find the centre is going to be jiggly. That is okay. And you just leave it in the bain-marie for about 15-20 minutes. Then you'll take it out, just cool it down, cover it in plastic wrap and pop it in the fridge overnight or a couple of hours. So this is a great thing. As I said, you can have these all done the day before, and then you just have a little bit of work to fancy them up before you serve them. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to pop on the top here the classic sugar. So, sugar,
just ordinary sugar?
Yeah, but you could use cinnamon sugar, you could use whatever, but I always find just caster sugar, and you want a good amount. But usually it depends on the size of your ramekin.
Okay, this is when we need to get the fire blanket ready.
And then twiddle it around so the whole lot gets covered, because what you don't want is a whole mass in the centre, because that will end up burning. So I'm just taking that off, I'm just wiping the excess sugar off, and then I'm just going to get my torch and I'm going to heat those up. Okay. Now, if you don't have a torch, you can pop these under a hot grill, maybe for about a minute, but keep an eye on them, because when they turn really, really quickly.
You need to get a little bit nearer.
You don't need to get, no, it's good.
Look at that, how lovely it turns brown.
Just lovely. Okay, so that's good. That's probably about as much as I wanted. And just be mindful that the longer you do it, you are crisping up the sugar, but you are also softening the creme brulee. So you don't want to be doing that for so long, and that's why a torch is better than a grill, I think. And remember, the texture of the creme brulee is going to be soft. It's not like a panna cotta where it's kind of set and a little bit rubbery, not rubbery, but you know what I mean. It's a very soft, custardy-like kind of feeling. All right, so now just to decorate this up, just get some fruit, whatever you happen to have. I love tweezers for this. It's too hard otherwise, honestly. And I'm going to get my glasses because we want it to look pretty. So I've got some, whatever you get. Papaya is beautiful on this, but I'm just going to position a little bit of fruit. And I just want to show you now, can you hear this?
Yes,
nice and crispy.
Tap, 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 tap.
Yep. So I'm just popping some fruit on. Just again.
Damn.
Yum.
Sorry about that. How it does that.
And of course, if you've got edible flowers, you can just tart this up with whatever you want. Mandarin is beautiful inside, so you can flavour the brulee custard itself, which is a beautiful thing to do. nearly done. Just torn some raspberries. This is what I had in the fridge. So whatever you happen to have. Pop him down there. Okay. And then this little guy is ready for serving. Let's turn that over. I don't like that one there. It's annoying me.
So Mia says, stop with the cartwheels, Andrew.
Yeah.
Well, Mia can talk. She just told me that her and her husband both had a fall.
Mia is an amazing cook. She's our Christmas fairy. She goes into overdrive at Christmas time. She's just amazing, amazing cook. All right, so that's all good. I'm happy at how they look. So let's talk about the final presentation. So here we have just a nice little tray. So I'm going to pop that onto the tray. And then I'm just going to ice up, I've got some vanilla icing sugar in here. I'm just going to pop that on my pre-prepared shortbread.
I didn't go any closer in case this thing has an epileptic fit again.
And there we go. So can you see that okay?
Yep, all good.
So that's just a lovely, easy dessert that is going to taste amazing. So let's just crack into it. Beautiful. And I do like to have a bit of kiwi fruit with this because the sharpness, see all that beautiful, Andrew, that's your bite.
Okay. Where'd you get the tweezers from?
They're a kitchen warehouse actually, I got those many years ago. They're food plating tweezers.
That is brilliant. Okay. You know me, I'll say it as I mean it. Collette often says to me, oh, don't be critical on the camera. But I'll say it as I mean it, but that is just beautiful.
I particularly like this recipe because
it's not overly sweet.
That's what I was going to say.
It's just perfect.
If you have it with like some fruit that could be just a little bit sour, it makes it just really, really nice. So as simple as that. Really didn't take long today. Looking under half an hour. Creme brulees and shortbread in there. You can do those the day before easily. But that shortbread recipe, you've got no excuses not to have amazing shortbread in your house. And it's just lovely to tart up your desserts. Any other questions, Andrew?
No.
No? All good? Excellent. All right, well, that's me until probably after Easter. I will come back on live and think about what I can do. In the meantime, if you've got any suggestions, pop them in the comments. Sometimes, certain things we can't do because they're too complex, etc. And the time doesn't allow it. Maybe we'll just do a lovely, we'll think. Anyhow, so my name's Collette Mitrega. Reach out if I can help. Remember, go to my blog, thermykitchen.com. If you have any questions or need information, there's a contact form, there's information about the TM7, the TM6 offers, there's great recipes that you can try, and there's lots of stuff. So visit thermykitchen.com. And enjoy Easter, have a wonderful Easter, and once again, thank you so much for sharing. It means the world to me. I really appreciate that. Andrew, wish everyone happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter, everyone.
Are you buying me an Easter egg this year?
No. I don't know. Does anyone agree with me that the quality of chocolate over the last few years has just gone downhill? And I was reading about how cocoa has got so expensive now that companies like Cadbury's are replacing cocoa with like cocoa butter and other additives to keep the costs down. Or, I mean, the Cadbury's cream eggs, which I absolutely love. I think I've just got so small, and I just don't taste that chocolate. Just doesn't taste of the chocolate like I used to enjoy.
I know. I would agree with that, Andrew.
Thank you, Collette.
We do like our chocolate.
We do love our chocolate, especially you.
All right. If you're a good boy, maybe I might go and get you some Krispy Kremes. Maybe.
Yeah. Krispy Kreme with some eggs on. Little chocolate mini. Those little mini chocolate eggs are nice. You know, ones with the sugary coatings on the outside.
Yeah, that's what I thought I would get and smash up a bit to put on top of the chocolate cake that I'm making with my customers on Thursday. So that's a good idea. I do need to go to the shops. All right, everybody, have a beautiful Easter. I look forward to seeing you after Easter. I'm around all Easter, not going anywhere. You can contact me at any time. Remember, if you're my customers, I don't know if you're struggling out there. I know I put lots of courses and stuff on for you to come to, but remember, my phone is always at my hip side. It's always by me, isn't it, Andrew?
It
always
is.
on me. Give me a call. Just reach out. I always look forward to those calls. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye for now.
Can I have a bit more?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
nice with the... Oh.
Cool. Just so good.
This is a lovely dessert.